Hello class, this is lesson 2-2 about the topic of tax. Specifically, we're going to learn about sales tax, which is a government tax that is added to the price of certain items and services. Okay, for instance, when you purchase a shirt or gasoline or you go to a restaurant, there is sales tax that is added typically to your bill. And so I have a question for you. What is a 7.5% tax on a $10 shirt? So if you were going to go into the store, how much would you have to pay extra just for the tax? One way that you could figure this out is by writing a proportion. So I could compare the amount that I'm going to spend on the tax compared to the amount that the shirt costs, which is $10. And I could write this as that 7.5% out of 100 because we know that it's out of 100%. One way that I could solve this is by working backwards. 100 divided by 10 is equal to 10. So 7.5 divided by 10 is going to give me whatever my tax is, which is 75 cents. I'm really just moving that decimal place backwards one more time. A second strategy looks a little similar, but this time we will be using cross products. So again, we're going to set up the same proportion. So T, my tax that I'm looking for, out of 10 is equal to 7.5 out of 100. And instead, I'm going to multiply going diagonally. So 100 times T is equal to 100T. And then 10 times 7.5 is equal to 75. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 100 to get the T alone. And when I do that, 75 divided by 100 is, again, 75 cents. So that is the second strategy. The third strategy is just using a tax formula, okay? And so this formula is very straightforward. If you want to find the tax, again, I'll just call it T, we'll say. It is just the cost, so in this case it would be that $10, times the percentage rate, okay? Except I can't leave it as a percent, I have to turn it into a decimal. So for instance, 10 times, instead of 7.5, it would be 0.075. I move the decimal place 2 times to the left. And when I multiply those values, I get 75 cents. And that's it. So for myself, I prefer using this tax formula. I think it's just very straightforward. And again, the main thing that you have to remember is to turn that rate into a decimal. So you cannot leave it as a percent. And again, we're just going to do that by moving the decimal backwards 2 times to the left. So this example says you want to buy sports equipment that costs $140. If the sales tax is 5.75%, what is the total cost of the equipment? Okay, so let's write out our formula because that's the strategy that I'm going to use. So again, to find the tax, I simply multiply the cost of the items times the percentage rate. So this is 140 for the cost. And for that rate, I'm going to change it so it no longer has that percent sign. So if it's starting as 5.75, I'm going to move the decimal point backwards twice and add in any zeros that I need to. So this is 0.0575. And I can multiply those values in my calculator, and I'm going to find that the tax on $140 is going to be $8.05. So to finish my problem, the total would be that $140 plus the extra $8.05 for a grand total of $148.05. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. Let's do another example. This time it says the cost of a hotel room for 2 nights is $280 if there is a 12% hotel room tax, what is the total cost of the hotel room? So again, the tax is just by multiplying the cost times the rate. So in this example, the cost was $280 and the rate is not 12. I need to change it by moving the decimal backwards twice. So that's 0.12. And then when I multiply those two values together, I find that the tax is $33.60. So the total cost for this hotel room is that $280 plus the $33.60 for tax, for a grand total of $313.60. And that's it. Let's move on. You purchase $56.60 worth of clothing at Old Navy. If the sales tax is 7.5%, what is the total cost of the clothing? I like shopping at Old Navy. Maybe you have also. So the tax again is the cost times that tax rate. The cost here was $56.60. And the rate, I need to turn that into a decimal. So that's 7.5%. I'm going to move it backwards 2 times to the left. And so that is 0.075. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this into my calculator right now. And you'll see that the tax is actually a little different. It's 4.245. So I'm going to round that up into the cents. So $4.25. So the total cost for your clothing is going to be that $56.60 plus the extra $4.25 for a grand total of $60.85. Okay, so it's important to know what the tax is just in case you have cash. Do you have enough money? This example here says your mom buys the following items at Safeway. In your city, there is a 7.3% sales tax on all items except food. That's a pretty interesting fact. How much money will your mom spend? So since it's a 7.3% sales tax on items that are not food, let's pick those items out. So for instance, that's going to be talking about the paper plates and the napkins. So those are the only items that I would have to calculate tax on. So I'm going to add those two items together. So $5.50 plus $6.15. And I'm going to multiply that by the sales tax rate. So again, that's 7.3%. Let's move the decimal point backwards twice. And that is going to be 0.073. Okay, so let's go ahead and combine those prices, which is $11.65. And then I can multiply it by the rate. And then I'm going to find kind of a long decimal. So 0.85045. So when I round it, it's simply 85 cents. Okay, so not too much for tax. But now to find the total amount that your mom spent, I need to add up all those items with the tax. So $6.75 for chicken, $1.99 for carrots, $2.55 for potatoes, the $5.50 for the paper plates, the $6.15 for the napkins, and then that 85 cents for the tax. Okay, so when I add up all of these values, I find that the total cost for my shopping or my mom's shopping trip was $23.19. And that's it. So that concludes our lesson. I have one problem for you to try on your own, and it's about buying a laptop. So I want you to calculate how much the total will be that you're going to spend on this laptop. All right, I'll see you in class. Bye.